unholy friends. Thank you for joining me again. Another day, another moment for us to consider the infinite you. You know? Specifically, this relation between the infinity and the finiteness of yourself is something that I want to kind of touch on today. I feel it is potentially dissociative, while at the same time the perfect thing to associate with, which might be a paradox as well. It's nice to have you here, Savina. Miari to you. Thank you for joining us, dear Shan, as well. How are you this wet and cold Sunday? I'm guessing it's the UK. You hear that, Christian? It's wet and cold in the UK right now. Melody to you too on the Reddit. Thank you for joining us here as well, friend. Sam, so much love to you. I'm gonna go get my ring quickly. I take it off every single time I wash my hands, so. It's just, well, I'm surprised I still have it. Here we are again. Tell me, friend, how are you finding this day? This moment, this experience, right? How have you reconciled the understanding or the interpretation, your place within the infinity? I feel like it's something that has been more and more on my mind. This deep understanding that we're so much more than just this body. So much more than the things we choose to do. So much more than we even know, probably as well. Going into the future, the things you'll be able to do will inform how much you know about yourself. But at this point in our existence, we find ourselves believing nothing is that, right? Nothing is that infinite. And me and Christian had this chat today about reaching a point where we unanimously accept that everything is God. Everything. The plants, the animals, every single thing. And from that place, just having proper respect for one another. Respect in a way that is sacred. You're like, yes, I should probably treat this person well because they are God as well, after all. Who wants to blaze? Desperate add me and you, it seems. Thank you for joining me. Good morning to you as well. How are you doing, friend? No, I'm on the moon, Melty. Of course I'm in the UK. Haven't moved since yesterday. Am I getting schooled right now? I'm trying to get Christian to stay in South Africa. Like every single time I get like the smallest smidge of information, everything is God. There we go, dear friend, right? Like it has been this conversation between me, Christian, and Yuan, like talking about when we arose in the universe. As human beings, these versions of ourselves at least, we might be really early, right? Some of the earliest beings that came to this level of self-consciousness. And there's this curious thing about humans. We really have this idolization of God, this story, that we tell ourselves. And it's pretty unanimous, no matter what culture, there's always this story of what God is. The story is different every single time. But we're always trying to get at this thing inside of us, right? This deepness. Jojo Jimbos. It's been a while, friend. It's nice to have you. Thank you again. Bodacious Bayer. Wow. Bu? How do you say B-E-A-U? Beau? Beautiful? Beau? Bodacious Beau. Bodacious Beau team. Thank you for joining me, friends. The point I'm trying to make is what exactly? Old humans, this picture we have of ourselves, this feeling we have of what God is. And I feel the thing we need to reach is just to have this feeling about everything, right? Instead of creating this narrative that this thing we call God is out there somewhere as this consolidated thing, right? Realizing that it's in everything. It is everything. It is you, it is me. It is the very air you're breathing, the vacuum, the void, and the little molecules floating within everything. Right? And that can be a little bit much. It can be a little bit much. So we forget. We come back to this realization of just a self, like a finiteness, limitation, reduction of the thing that you actually are. And we come into this space intentionally. So it's this weird paradox in my mind between we chose to be here and we chose to forget. But being here completely and forgetting completely is also not something that serves us, or maybe would lead us to destructive behaviors. So how do we serve that line? Where do you draw the line of how much of the infinity you have to be and how much of you have to be? Something that Christian mentioned that's been on my mind is this Alan Watts quote of the best thing you can do for someone else is live into your ego. Right?
Be careful how you use that.
I know. That's why it's so curious to me, dude, because it means so many things at the same time. You know, and it's a weird balance that you have to try and almost find in your own brain as soon as you hear that statement. I feel ego has a function, but unfortunately, one of its primary functions is to convince you that you're small. But then you can also have an inflated ego, all right? But even if you have an inflated ego, it wouldn't be able to even get close to the everything. Everybody wants to feel important, all right? So, if anything, just remembering you can use your ego to make people feel important. Right? Living into that part of your ego. Being ridiculous enough that someone feels exuberant, fascinated, overjoyed by your ridiculousness. Is having kids selfish? Is having kids selfish, Christian?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
It's one of the most selfish things.
How dare you have
How dare you.
children? If it depends on the reason you're having kids, right? If you're having kids in order to save your marriage, for example, then yes, I do believe having kids is selfish. If you're having kids because you want to have that experience, you want to bring new life into this world, and you want to raise a child, you know, in the best way you know possible, trying to like almost manifest a beautiful new life for someone else, then it may be less selfish. Guess it depends on why you're having kids in the first place. You know, not so much having the kids in themselves. Everything. Our intention will be everything. Everything. And what symbols would you like to see, Christian?
Of Mary.
I'm gonna get some protections. I'm gonna get
A
some
winky
knowledge.
smiley face.
What?
A winky smiley face.
Winky smiley face. Yera. And we'll do Isa as well. Isa is the rune of like selfness, of I-ness.
Of meanness.
Yeah, of like you. I am myself. So I feel protection and knowledge, winky smiley face, change into yourself. Yeah. I just noticed a documentary about why we're right-handed that had me thinking. You want to share like the basics? Why are we right-handed? I'm curious as well, Jojo. You are early. I am? Am I early?
No.
I'm usually on time. It's nice to have you here, though, Heather. Maybe you're early. Mostly right-handed. I'll let you know after I watch it. Please do, friend. Once you become self-aware and self-analyze yourself, you are off the track. There is no going back. Oh, me and Christian have been talking about self-awareness a lot. it is a weird dual-edged sword, unfortunately. It can serve you, but it can also be the worst thing ever. Where a lack of self-awareness can technically let you be this thing that you are, this ego, this person that you consider yourself, a little bit more, I don't know if elegantly is the right word, mindlessly, that also doesn't sound quite right. Ignorantly, maybe that's the word, right? In the context of ignorance is bliss, where if you don't practice any self-awareness, you don't have to practice any self-awareness. And self-awareness only begets more self-awareness, so it's a little bit of a slippery slope to go down. It's gonna take you. Is your marriage, if your marriage is in need of saving, a child certainly is more likely to not save it. Lol, exactly, Heather. Like that's the biggest thing, right? Nothing can save our relationships other than ourselves. And sometimes, even though it might be hard to admit, we're the problem. We are the problem. Maybe we're doing something that someone can handle, unaware to be aware, right? Unaware to pay attention, unwilling to pay attention to the things that kind of like make our significant other hate us. And then we're like, yeah, no, it's their fault for not hating me, or for hating me in the first place, not realizing that we can do things that make people hate us as well. Right? And again, I feel like that's a smallness thing. Like if you're not going to allow yourself to do more than just the things you want to do, then there's going to be a discrepancy, a disparity between you and the other person always. Another day of enlightenment. I hope you know how much I appreciate you, Terpnato. No. So nice, dude. Terpnato appreciates me, Christian. Don't look at me like that with your scorn. Terpnato is just saying that to make you feel better, he thinks to himself. Terpnato doesn't even... Love you, friend. Thank you for joining me. It's 9 a.m. here. It's probably... I think daylight savings happened. Right, Heather? It might have happened. Joel's here as well. Savina. Thank you. Ignorance is numbing. It is numbing, right? And then that numb feeling is kind of like paired with people trying to fill it with something. More alcohol, more entertainment, more people, more this, more that. Not realizing that you cannot escape the numb feelings by numbing yourself more. Unfortunately, left-handed people can often have inflated egos, thinking they're special, and attributing unique characteristics to something that's genetic abnormality. Are they? I feel you are exactly what you believe you are, right? So if left-handed people think these things about themselves, believe these things about themselves, it is as real to them as it is to reality, because it's their reality, right? I feel, again, if we can reach this point where we find balance between the relationship we have with everything and the relationship we have with ourselves, as we consider this version of ourselves, I feel there might be some good that arises from that kind of back and forth. So in other words, having an inflated ego, as you mentioned, these left-handed people having, I feel might be the extent of it, where you believe because you're special, other people aren't. Alright? But realizing that everything is everything, and everything is special in the exact same way. Maybe differently, but still same. Joe Kozak's homies, shouteth outeth to you. Thank you for joining me too. It did, more sleep. I'm happy to hear that, friend. Hope you friends are sleeping well. Newtons, yes. Followed you gents on Instagram. Saw Christian's poem locker. Enjoyed the read. He has quite the skill.
Ach, dankie man.
You hear that? He says thank you. Truth is the light. Connor is joining us here. Thank you for joining us, dear friend. Let me tune in on the YouTube as well. How are you, dear Shan? There we go. There's Connor. So much love to you, friend. Never pray to false idols. Never pray to anything. That's might be a little bit extreme. But you're the one praying, right? At the end of the day, you're creating this narrative inside of your mind where you're talking to something but that something you're talking to is the everything. And you are within the everything as the everything. And again, that can lead you to feeling lost, dissociative, not knowing who you are. So there is this balance that has to be met. Where do you draw the line, Christian?
I don't fucking know. Do I look like an expert to you?
You do, oh. I consider you an expert.
You. Someone needs to reevaluate their priorities.
I'm reevaluating right now. I'm having like a firmware update, boot sequence happening in the back of my brain. Thank you again, Joel. I appreciate you sending the love. Truth's here. Did you know that in Latin there is Dexter? Right is Dexter and left is sinister. Think about those two words and how they're used in English. Dexterity.
Are we hating on left-handed people?
It seems that way. The poor left-handed people are getting dumpstered today. If you're left-handed, I love you just as much as any other person. You are not defined by your left-handedness. I think that's the whole point of this whole stream, is that you aren't defined by anything. You're defined by everything. Right? Quite literally. That there is no separation between you and the everything. And the only thing we keep doing is we keep telling ourselves stories of how we are in fact separate. Actually, I am a human being.
We are so separate.
We are so separate, Christian.
So separate.
You are you and I am me. You know, and that's why I can steal your shit though. It's not my shit I'm stealing, it's your shit.
You ain't taking any of my shit.
Over my dead body. Heavy metal music starts. So love to you, dude. That was a good insight about my left-handed sister, Mel. Well played. She's just a mutant. I agree with Stardust. We're all mutants, dear friend. Mutants of the family we've had, mutants of the genetic code we've shared. We're a new version of ourselves right now. And we're interfacing with information in a way that we never have before. And that is probably mutating us as well. That you are an extremely adaptable being. Human beings have that going for them. This ability to adapt to things. And we find ourselves in the information age. You know? We have to adapt to something that is so absurd. You're adapting to what exactly? Adapting to expanded consciousness?
I'm adapting to this caffeine overdose.
Yeah, I told you, adapting to maybe the infinity, right? Closer to the infinity than we've ever been.
We are the next level, bro. The Big Bang was the beginning. We're the first form of sentient life. Prove me wrong.
Prove me wrong. Yeah, point to the other sentient life to me and I'll believe you. Bro, I would like to believe that the aliens are just waiting for us right now. There's like a whole party. There's a whole party going on.
They're waiting there with their laser cannons.
And they're
firing my laser.
I'm firing my laser. I've only dated left. I've only ever dated left-handed people.
That is incredibly
coincidentally
stereotypical. What do you call it?
Exclusionatory.
Exclusionary? Exclusive?
Interesting is what it is to me. That is a weird fact, Heather. We're all of them inflated ego-y, you know? Like, I know that this is not an N of too many, but I'm still curious if you found any information. How was your day? So much love. Maxine is here too. Gabbity goo. Gabbity bo bizzle babble flarm swoop swoop zooby dooby goob.
I will be
day YouTube friendos. Yes.
Like you.
Thank you. You see, at least the friends know that you can just as well. Like I've been saying this to Christian over and over again, that you can make gibberish sounds. Seriously, just gibberish sounds, and it will mean just as much if you know from what context it was said. And I understand Gab. Gab is like, yeah, goobity scoop doopski doop. It means the same thing. It means love. Thank you, dear friend. Gabras is here too. It is sad that most kids are born out of the primal instinct or complete accidents. So few are born out of love and the desire to raise someone better for the world. I feel that might be the way it has been, you know, and I feel our generation, having a kid is such a serious thing, you know, like the implications of having a kid is more hectic than it's ever been. So we're considering a lot more, you know, like our reasoning for having kids is no longer societal norms, like, oh yeah, This is what you do. You have kids. It's more, do I want to have kids? Would I be a good parent if I do have kids?
Probably not.
Would they be happy in this world that I bring them into, right? Like I feel we're taking that into consideration more than we ever really have. And that is also changing us. It's definitely changing us. We are Borg. You will be assimilated. Your biological and technological distinctiveness will be added to our own. Resistance is futile. Uh-huh. The Borg is here, dude. Are we the Borg, Christian?
What?
Are we the Borg?
I don't fucking know.
I
What's
think-
the Borg?
You don't know the Borg?
No.
I believe the Borg is from the Star Trek series, dude.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this species, dude, that is just like cyborgs.
Oh, wow.
And any biological life they meet, they're like, oh wait, now you're gonna be part of the Borg.
Sounds like the Daleks.
Yeah, pretty much like the Daleks. But the Daleks fucked up. Those bodies are lame, dude.
Yeah, they do suck.
They really had lame bodies, dude. Like that's the best shit you can come up with as a super advanced technological species.
It's fairly sad.
Did you use runes today for your smoke? I did, Joel. The protection rune, the fire rune, a smiley face for Christian, then the Yera rune, which is like and then the Isa rune. Odal has been speaking to me a lot lately as I think about my ancestors. Othala or Odal. Do you know Othala or Odal?
No.
I don't either. Sounds pretty sick though, Joel. Let me know more. 6 of 9, territory adjacent, and matrix 0-1. My brain. We might realize that being ambidextrous is how we're supposed to be, but we're fractured. Or our brains are designed to be unbalanced. Maybe both. We're fractured because our brains are developed to be unbalanced. At least at this point in our existence, right? Like I think we had to be in one way or another in order to get where we are, but now we have to continue being something else. Right? And how, like it's one thing to be scared of change when it comes to where you live, how you live, what it is you do as you live. It's a whole different thing to transcend your species. Become something else. Everything changes. Obviously, it's gonna be scary. Stoner Sunday joining me. Merman is here as well, saying Brother Bear. Hey Brother Bear from the road, driving to California with Stephanie. And Stephanie, my love as well. Thank you for joining me, friend. I think that when I was 18 to 25, there wasn't a should I have kids or what happened if I don't have kids. Yeah, exactly. You know, it's not even a question. It's just like, oh yeah, this is something that we do as humans. We have kids, so we're having kids now. Why? Because kids. Christian, does that sound familiar?
I wanted to have kids.
He wanted to have kids like that. He was like, yes, if I don't have kids at this time, then I'm an abject failure.
I am an abject failure.
Listen to him. Can you introduce me to 7 of 9? Trusting the junction of Unmatrix 601. My brain is getting melted. Can I come to? Absolutely. She's a bit uptight. Pursue at your own risk. She sounds hot.
Who's uptight?
7 of 9, tertiary adjacent, Unmatrix 01, dude.
Whoa.
Yeah. That's weird. When I was 13, I ain't having any kids, carrying my own damn groceries. Yeah, you know, I feel like our generation of being kids also has this genuine sense that our parents are just using us as pack mules.
That's exactly what we were.
Yeah, it's just like, oh yeah, dude, now you're free labor. Thank you for coming into my house. Put some respect in 7 of 9.
Nothing wrong with a bit of child slavery.
Meld Othala is an elder Firthrock rune meaning heritage or family. Oh, okay. I think I know what you're. That one that goes into itself, right? It goes and then it crosses. Solid correction. Designation, not name. Yes. You don't have names anymore. You're just designated a new title. This is who you are now. Thank you, overlords. What's happening? Team Mel, miss you all during the daylight savings, but now with the time change, I think I'll be present more often. Brother Bay, I'm looking forward to the time you'll spend with us. Is the time being later for you right now? So my yoga class is going to be later, or is it earlier? I feel I might have been confused then. Good to know I wasn't on drugs. I'm happy to hear that too, Connor. Being sober and living is like having a perma-sober shroom trip, trying to figure out and navigate towards our death. Yeah, I feel like life at the end of the day is the ultimate trip. That this experience of being other as the ultimate self is the trip. It is always going to be like, what the fuck? Look at your own hand. Be like, why do I see something instead of everything? You know? It's a bit much. It's a bit much. Sometimes taking full responsibility for the outcome that you are in is the most freeing thing that you can ask of yourself. You hear that, Christian?
Mm-hmm.
Asking ourselves if we deserve it, right? We were talking about that on the way to Christian's dad today. We had to go and get something. And it was this question of asking yourself, do I deserve where I am right now? And that's a brutal question. It's such a brutal question. It's kind of like,
Sometimes you self-sabotage.
yeah, it's not something you want to ask yourself. And yet, we might need to more. Start course correcting from that place. I'm so happy that you're taking responsibility as well, Connor. It's 8 a.m. here. That means 6 a.m. for Joy Vive. Oh, Joy Vive is probably knocked out right now. I'm a lefty. My mom's a lefty. I'm right. More lefties. Look at that. Would you like to purchase a left-handed hammer, Shannon? Yes, clearly, you need to buy more products because you're left-handed. I use my right hand for some things though. I read an article that said that the more you use your non-dominant hand, the more you become ambidextrous. I try using my left as much as I can. I don't do it intentionally, but I do feel I use my left hand. I don't use I want to start using my left hand to eat with chopsticks. Like that's the first thing my brain went to. Like I feel like that could be good training. I tried as well, Tiger, but for the right thing, I can barely manage with my right, let alone trying with my left. That's pretty funny actually. Connor, again, love to you. Thank you, Shan, for sending love. My left writing looks like I'm having a seizure. Goodness, party of tuners. What kind of activities, Joe? Is Jovan here? Well, tuners, packing my weekend full of activities. How's you? Jovan always does things, goes out, has a good time, experiences the infinity. Burn from Christian. Christian burns me all the time.
Huh?
Burns everybody. I think it's the selfish kid question, probably. I agree, Melty. I'm way too scared to bring children to this world. I don't want them to go through the suffering I did, or the suffering that society breeds.
Oh, shame, man. Life is suffering.
Life is suffering. Existence is suffering. But we come here for it, right?
Children are being born on the battlefield at some point.
Right? Interestingly enough, did you know that in the midst of war, women's male birth rate increases?
Oh, wow.
Isn't that curious?
Must be all the lemons they eat.
It's all the men that get
The
killed,
lemons.
and the biological machine is like, oh wait,
The pheromones.
we're gonna lose so many men over the next couple of years. Let's make more of them. That's so brutal, dude. That's pretty yassi bobassi. That even biology is like, oh wait, I can't afford kids. That's the biggest thing as well, Gab. That in back in the day, kids were just another thing. Like, oh yeah, we'll just have kids. We have more than enough capital to take care of ourselves, so surely kids won't be that much. Now it's like every single kid you have to work a second job. I got the less expensive, extra hairy variety of kids. Yes, he has dogs, and his dogs are as much kids as anything is. One of us. The Borg, probably. I was about to say, Gabi, dogs are the closest things to kids, and pets are very expensive. My cat is way less maintenance. Yeah, and your cat, is willing to take care of itself as well. Just like lounges. Kids, oh goodness. The more I think about it, the more it terrifies me. I'm going to help a band and record Migrating Allison like she's doing it this weekend. It'll be a long drive and I'll be out late, but super pumped for the experience. So they have these nets, and they catch these little owls, and they check out their tags, maybe tag them again, so they can find the migrating patterns, see if the population is healthy.
That's cute.
They don't get hurt, they just don't like it. Yeah, you work with animals. She does. She does, we all do. I'm jealous of Lucky Bo Bizzle, but it's you, dude. No jealousy, just living vicariously through her. You want to smoke this joint, do you?
Sitting there in your face. I'm just frustrated for the fact that
He's getting frustrated that I'm not lighting this
forever.
joint. Just choofing weed as fast as I can.
Functionless.
I'm calm. bro.
Bothers me, bro.
I'm so calm right now, dude. I don't have anything rushing me. Super duper calm. I see Cassandra is here with me. I'm happy that we're talking about something decent. First time I tune into Cassandra's like post in a long time. She goes into a whole like shtick. I could like feel her blushing throughout the camera, even though I couldn't see her face. I'm rather ambidextrous. Elementary school teachers hate nothing more. It's like, no, you can't do that. Stop doing that. You need to be writing of one or the other. You're what? I'm certainly not easy raising a child right now. I feel I have an even bigger responsibility teaching Amara how to live in the new world we are working towards. I can't even imagine, right? It's so much information you have to take into consideration, and she has
Americans
access.
sound so like ambitious, bro.
Who?
Americans.
Americans. They are ambitious, dude. I feel like it is a state, world that breeds people that want to do things, right? More, faster, more and faster and faster and more. It's a part of the class, dude. Like I think Terence was going into it as well, that the Western worldview is one of improvement, ceaselessly so. I can only imagine. The thought of having a daughter terrified me. I'd be scared to let her out of the house, and I feared that she would resent me for being overprotective mama. Yeah, another balance, you know. Letting her have everything instead of letting her have just her ego. Being in this position where you feel like you're maybe ruining her experience for her if you do that. But realizing that we're doing that for ourselves, right? Always. That we are in the same way not letting ourselves out of the house, being overprotective selves over ourselves. It's a trip. It's an actual trip. The class and the stream is earlier. So the way I have time before the fam gets up. Okay, so it is earlier then. Joe Bot volunteering for creatures of this world. Bless your hearts. The way Maula is here too. I deserve more from myself. Whew, you understand perfectly, friend. Thank you for sharing it as well. It's hard to teach a child to live and grow in the world, as it will be in their adulthood, when the society and education they will get is built on a world of the old. Yeah, that's it right now, where the way we're teaching kids is like factory workers still. Melt a hammer is a hammer. It's able to be used in both hands was a joke. I understand. I do understand. But I was more kind of like talking about capitalism, you know, telling people like, oh, you're left-handed, are you? Buy this ads label, left-handed hammer. Yes. Now you pay us $5 extra. Give us $5 extra because this is a left-handed hammer. And then there's people that buy it. Like, I'm left-handed. Surely I need left-handed. Thank you for sharing as well. Children are the brightest little lights. They really are. Joe Bot is an aficionado of the state of doing. Goops. It helps not to buy PS5s and Nintendo Switches. It's true. We deserve better from ourselves. Karma yogis. It's a process, friend. It's a process. It's something that you keep ebb and flowing out of. You know, where you allow yourself things, and then in that allowed state, you feel bad for having things. And then you don't allow yourself things. And then you feel this is also not right, and then you allow yourself things, and it's this ebb and flow between what you think you are worthy of and what you think you're not. And whatever you think becomes your reality. It is what you think it is, Maula. I hope Mel gets blessed with a bunch of daughters. He already recognizes the divine feminine. I think it'd be a great example for them.
Sorry, I'm more laughing about like the two-wife thing.
Having multiple daughters would probably humble me into oblivion, you know. Maybe that's the way it should be, actually. Facts, give them a we and call it a day, Ravina. Stuff that the kids want has gone up far more than inflation for decades. Oh yeah, you know, and living wages hasn't, not even closely to it. Gateway is here too. I'm left-handed too, just catching up. Look at that, more left-handed friends. We're talking about how great you are. Ceaseless improvement driven by fear won't really work. Have puritanical ideas here in America. What does that word mean, Christian?
Puritanical. I don't know.
purity tyrannically pure.
I don't fucking know.
Can you Google it?
No.
I want to know what that word means.
I want a joint.
I'll light this joint as soon as I know what puritanical means. P-U-R-I.
Puritanical.
Puritanical.
Having or displaying a very strict or censorious moral attitude towards self-indulgence or sex.
I mean, that feels pretty apt. Thank you,
Really? In
Christy.
America?
Yeah, dude. Like I mean, it depends on who you ask. I feel like extremely right-leaning people probably. And I don't judge either, because fortunately I don't have to be a part of that economic system. So I actually get to wash my hands in like, actually neither. Thank you for helping me, Christian. Joint's lit though.
Oh.
Yo! Pinch. Another friend of the left team. What's your favorite conspiracy theory, Mel? Mine is that Burns on drill. My favorite conspiracy theory is that aliens have existed among us this whole time. They have given us this technology, but humans aren't exactly ready. So we've just been benefiting technologically. They've been educating us with the information of movies and television shows this whole time. And we're only getting closer and closer to meeting them. That's my favorite conspiracy theory. How about yours, Christian?
Well, I really liked Zuckerberg being a reptile.
And being a lizard
That was
person.
pretty funny.
Dude, that interview we did where it was like, I was human. I mean, I am human. Still. That's like, hey, what the who makes mistakes like that? Like, weirdly enough, I think he's into that, dude. I think he's into being considered more a sentient robot than he is being considered a human.
Good for him. I just thought it was a funny theory. He does look kind of reptilian, like froggy, you know.
The whole
No offense,
reptiles
Mr.
are
Zuck.
ruling the world.
The Zuck.
I mean,
himself.
Inside Job did a good play on that, dude. All of the
Inside Job
conspiracy
is a
theories.
brilliant series. If you guys like Rick and Morty, it's kind of on a similar level, but a bit more mature, not so like uncensored in your face.
It feels a little more tame, if anything. Speak for yourself, Mr. Christian. I love naps. Did you say you don't like naps?
I don't know. I myself am a big fan of naps.
One thing I've been considering lately is the Gnostic theory that the place may be a reincarnation prison, rather than us choosing to be here to experience life as training. Have you thought about that possibility? Would love to know what your thoughts are, I guess.
The Gnostic.
Gnostic is to know God, knowledge.
Reincarnation prison.
I don't think so. You know, weirdly
I've
enough.
thought about it before, and it's kind of like training for the next level of consciousness, and it's like this is your deciding trial on
intermediate period.
whether you're going to be a really cool, dope-ass, powerful being, or you're going to be a little demon schmuck that they throw into the nether realms.
So on that demon schmuck level, remember on the DMT trip we had together, dude? I mentioned to you that in that DMT trip there was this thin, kind of like the DMT realm is usually this self-transforming experience, things transforming out of themselves, right? The thing that you're looking at is itself becoming itself, coming out of itself. And then there was this little entity that was just lines, black lines, you know? Like almost like there was this void of self-transforming information. It was just this, you know, and it was getting closer to me while I was in this experience, and I was surrounded by these other entities as well. And I asked them, what does this entity want? And they're like, oh, it wants what you have. And it was like trying to wait for a piece of me to fall off, if that makes any sense, so it can grab it. And for some reason, it felt in that moment like these entities wanted to see me shun it, you know, send it away, throw it away or whatever. And instead, I bent down I looked at his little face and I was like, I freaking love you. And it exploded. Not exploded like got destroyed, but became, it like transformed out of itself, became this massive psychedelic, mandala fractal in front of my eyes. And he exploded with such intensity that the beings that I felt wanted me to send it away just got yeeted into the ethereal realm as well, dude. So maybe even if you become a demon and you're loved enough by anything, you can transcend that as well, dude.
Don't know.
Maybe.
I don't think there's ever a stopper on it.
Like the thing I'm trying to get at roundabout is that if this is a prison and we're all prisoners, demons, if you will, that we can create angels by just showing some love, showing some appreciation for the other being.
It's a case of like, I really don't think there's any limit.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you can become anything, anytime.
It's just a matter of your imagination again, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yo. Comes back to the all is mine from the Kalian as well, dude. Whole trip. Well, I'm ambidextrous, so I'm the most separate. Yes, like looks down nose, points finger. You can't use both your arms at the same time simultaneously for different tasks. Loser.
Come on.
Thank you for asking cool questions as well, Connor. How about yours? I mean, I know the birds aren't real. I don't know if that's an actual thing or if it's just a joke at this point. Are you hangover after yesterday's party? Maybe a little bit, but not to an extent, I don't feel bad. I just feel tired a little bit, if anything. So many lefties in one place. So neat. I'm curious about it, actually. Why is Christian wearing the sassy pants today?
Sassy pants?
Sassy pants.
What's wrong with my pants?
They're pretty sassy.
I think they're not sassy.
Those are some sassy pants you're wearing. I don't know what sassy pants look like.
They're my comfy pants.
For some reason, sassy pants in my mind is like skinny jeans. So I don't know why. I'm like thinking, what does sassy pants look like? My parents like skinny jeans. Those are pretty sassy pants. Thank you for sharing your thoughts on the subject. If you ever curious to look into it more, it's called the prison planet theory. I am only interested in things that inspire more hope in me. But the Joel, I feel like that has definitely become something that I'm aware of. And you can call it spiritual bypassing if you want to. Like I'm avoiding. But I don't think I do that. Right, Christian? I don't avoid things that make me feel deeply. But I do avoid things that
I think people should stop avoiding things that make them feel deeply.
Like just for instance, we watched Bo Burnham's Inside.
It was shit. That was hard to
Some
watch.
of your friends would know what I'm talking about, and it's like a work of art, seriously. And if you haven't watched it, maybe consider watching it. Bo Burnham.
It's a difficult watch though, guys. If you're not in a good space, I don't necessarily recommend it. It's a lot.
It's a lot. It's a call to awareness in so many ways as well. And it's what we're going through right now, as a collective, as a new generation in this age of the internet. A little bit of everything, all of the time.
A little bit.
All of the time. Apathy's a tragedy and boredom is a crime. Anything and everything, all of the time. Faster and faster, dude. Again, it touches
I'm glad
perfectly.
of one thing. I'm glad that I at least got to sit outside for some time as a kid and dig a hole with a stick.
Yeah, that's pretty sick, dude. I mean, I don't know if many kids do that right now, actually, or even though they have access. But again, this little bit of everything all of the time, I feel it is resonating with today's title of the relationship you have with yourself and everything. Right? It's quite literally that. The relationship we have with the internet is this growing relationship that we have between us as humans, us as individual selves, and everything. Actually everything, dude. And we can't access all of it. I don't think we need to. I don't think we want to. So maybe if anything, the the thing we have to try to figure out is what parts of the everything we want to associate with most deeply. Write it down even. Write it down. Read it every day. Ask yourselves what parts of infinity, right? Everything. What parts of that do I want to be? Might not be easy. Might not be that simple. But I feel if anything, it's going to be a step in the right direction. Oh, Rangoon and friends, as before our ban ends, I think you need to eat some ramen on the stream. That's a weird request. Why? Why eat ramen?
Some fucking ramen this time.
I don't eat on stream, dude. It's just not something I do.
Oh, that's funny.
Not something I do. Do you feel comfortable eating in front of people?
Not really. I mean, not specifically when people are looking at me.
No, we had this conversation recently. Like, I definitely have an aversion to being watched, or just like if I'm gonna sit in a room and I'm gonna be the only one eating, or like let's say there's a lunchroom and I have to bring food to the lunchroom and then sit amongst my coworkers and eat there. My brain is like, nope, don't do that. Same thing with stream. It's like, nope, stop it. Can't even food. And if you get hair caught in it, you end up eating that too, so be it. Who's that voice in the background? It's my alter ego. I've learned ventriloquism, and I'm very good at it. I have two parts of myself ceaselessly now. What do you think of the part of me? Is that insane? I think he's angry at me.
JK.
No, he's not angry at me.
JK Rowling.
Starts brain damaging me. My own brain starts brain damaging self. Altruism is a great concept, but it is just that. Humans are inherently selfish by nature.
We can stop.
This is not to say that we are incapable of seemingly selfish acts of love, but even the most well-intended person receives rewards for their kindness. Is that a bad thing? Should we reward people for anything other than kindness? Is the question that I'm coming up with. You know, like I feel, again, and that's kind of like the statement I want to make of the stream as well, is that everything is God, right? Again, including you, but there is a level, a line that we all serve between being that, believing that we're that, and being this, believing that we're just this, right? And I feel we're supposed to. I feel one of the things that we're actually capable of doing in the first place is pushing that line between just this and everything, right? And if we can get all human beings to kind of push themselves closer to the everything than they are to the nothing, the just self, I feel it doesn't even have to be altruistic. It just becomes selfish as well, right? You can technically flip that thing on its head, where altruism can be indistinguishable between that and selfishness. That it is going to be selfish to be altruistic. It's going to be altruistic to be selfish, right? In that way, where you're paying attention to the everything is the same God that you are, right? The way you water your plants, the way you treat your pets, the way you treat the person serving you at the store, the person walking past you on the street, instead of it just being like, I am this and they are that, it's like everything is God. All of it, including this person. So I need to treat them justly, as you would that God entity. And I don't know if that's altruism. Is that altruism? I don't think it is it?
I don't know.
Altruism is when you do things for humanity. Probably selfishly. No selfishness. But you can think about it as doing it for yourself. You can make it something that's easier to swallow.
Ooh.
Yeah. You know, sometimes a pill is too big or the medicine tastes disgusting. Add some juice to it. Suddenly the kid is happy to drink it. I've seen Mel eat a bite of cake or some treats from his mom. That's the most, you know, even then my brain is like, stop. I need to know who it is, It's going to inform my opinion of you. So what are you going to do when ARPAN ends? I'm going to move to a new platform. I'm going to take what it is I've learned and go and share that knowledge, that experience somewhere else. I feel it was good school. ARPAN helped us so much. We did a lot of cool things. And now there's time, room, space to do more cool things. That crosses my mind quite a bit. As well intentioned as we may be in selfishness, there is still some aspect which feeds our own desires. Happiness, right? Happiness is something that feeds our own desires, almost primarily. But we know now, with pretty good certainty, that there is happiness in helping people. There's happiness in giving someone a gift. There's happiness in seeing someone's smiling face when you give them food. So again, this it's just about where we prioritize, what values we hold, right? What type of happiness, what parts of again the infinity we want to be. Do we want to be the part of the infinity that is happy, gorging themselves on food alone in their apartment, having not seen friends, family, the sun outside, just locked in a box, being able to consume as much as they want to through the internet, through financial freedom when it comes to food. Like, sure, that can be something that brings happiness in the short term. It can give you a dopamine spike, as in, yes, you're safe enough to have entertainment, you're safe enough to have food, you're in a space, it's your space, and you get dopamine for that. But there are these larger arcing dopamine loops that we get when we interact with the world at large. And it's getting increasingly difficult to access that world at large, while at the same time it's increasingly easy. It's a paradox in itself as well. I feel it's easy, actually. I think we just make it more complicated than it actually is. It's just gonna take us some time. It isn't bad, it just is. There we go. Not so sure humans are inherently selfish. Evolution sometimes favors cooperation. Yes, in fact, evolution as it is right now is based on cooperation, right, Moja? If not for evolution as it is right now, if not for cooperation as it is right now, we would not be. We would actually not exist on planet Earth right now. I think she's right. Okay, but what platform? Oh my goodness, still trying to remove earwax. I hope you succeed, friend. YouNow. YouNow is the new platform we're going to. Yes, but a desire to continue and to contribute to the evolution of the human race through cooperation benefits the individual as well as the whole community. Exactly. Exactly. It's a self melting into itself, melting into itself, melting into itself. There's no escaping. There's no being separate from it. There's only how you contribute to it. That is the question, right? And you're contributing to it no matter what. If you just took a breath, you just put more carbon dioxide into the air, and you extracted oxygen molecules from the air. Probably extracted oxygen molecules that have been on the planet for billions of years, created by photoplankton in the water. They created so much oxygen, they killed themselves. Think about that. Huh? Isn't that wacky, Christian?
What's wacky?
That one of the original beings on the earth produced so much chlorophyll, and as a result, so much oxygen, that they made the sea and the air so oxygen rich that they killed themselves. Oh.
Whoa.
They had a mass extinction. All of them died. Oh.
That's sad, bro.
That's a lot of oxygen, dude. And you were still breathing it. An infinite amount of things had to happen just for you to have this moment. I'm not sure if I'm suddenly interested in you or not, and it is hinging on who the background person is. I told you, I'm ventriloquisting right now.
What on earth is going on here?
It's totally not a person. I don't know. This person, I feel, is trying to manipulate my brain, but I'm just like, interesting. Why do you care, friend? Why do you care? It's a friend of mine. It's a friend of mine. My little ventriloquist dummy. He's my best friend. Weirdly enough, Christian, you are actually on my shoulder even when I'm not around you, dude. Like the one of the, what you say most in my head? Be careful what you wish for. That's the line. That's the line you say a lot in my head.
One must remember.
It's a friend. It's a friend. Ragons and friends. It's a friend of mine. He's sitting there, working so hard. Have you spent some time studying today?
I did, yes.
Okay.
I
How,
did.
how did you feel about that?
Pretty damn good, bro.
Nice.
So I'm not feeling like shit at all right now.
Mans is stepping up and stepping in for himself and for all of us. Christian is pure sass incarnated with a touch of spice.
Hey, I'm not sassy or spicy for that matter.
You're pretty sass and spicy.
I'm pretty
bro.
fucking nice, bro.
He's a nice dude. I feel he compliments the type of person that I am in a lot of ways as well.
Whoever said that though, you're interesting opinion.
His name is Gob.
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 I like to sometimes mess up and say Gob.
Retreat.
Gobbity gob, squirrels do tune. They're all out together. The squirrels especially. They're the ones ruling the world. Touche, Sofina. Christian, they're saying hi to you. Lane is here as well. Sup, Christian. Your hair volume is fantastic today. Hear that?
Oh,
Getting compliments. Is Christian going to join the Sangha today? Will you?
the Sangha.
The Sangha.
There's Sangha today.
Yeah, up till 7 though.
What is this? Okay.
Talking about, I need to pay attention to the time as well.
It shall be considered.
Maybe. I fantasize about reality being a coded simulation that creates the most visceral and novel separation experiences. But eventually humanity will align itself with unity and cooperation. I believe this as well. I believe that we came here to feel separateness for the longest time, but we felt it so hard that we started hurting ourselves, right? And we made the Earth experience a bad one by doing that. And I feel we're here to let's stop going here, let's go here, please. And it's gonna be up to us, every single one of us, to make that difference. Like, you are that difference. Every single thing you eat, every single breath you take, every single way you stir your coffee, the way you lift your head off the pillow, you are creating change. Christian seems like he would have beautiful handwriting. Do you know?
My handwriting is okay.
Chicken scratch.
Excuse me.
I just like that saying, dude.
What
It's
the fuck
so
did you
hard.
just say, sir?
You want to give me one of your little books?
No.
I want to show them your handwriting.
No, I don't.
I want to show them your handwriting so hard right now. I want to see as well. Finds good handwriting somewhere. one little bit.
It's very scratchy. Most of it is very scratchy, but yeah. Here's the two examples of like print writing and then cursive writing. There you go.
I feel the way you write is very similar to mine as well. Christian's handwriting. Looks like magic spells though. And this is his print. Magic spells. Is this poems?
Some of it, yeah.
I want to read some of
You're
them.
not allowed to. Permission denied.
I respect it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I want to see the book. You've seen the book. The book has been seen by you now. Rangoon.
You want to see the cover? The cover's pretty cool.
Oh, maybe he wants to see the cover of the book. The night is dark. Very, very cool, Christian. And on the other side it goes full of terrors. The night is dark and full of terrors, Christian.
It is.
Is this the witch woman?
The witch woman.
Yeah, on the front.
From Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Yes.
She looks young on the front and then like a witch on the back, bro. Bro, my brain is like, it wants to eat whatever is inside of this, but I don't really know. One of the favorite things for me is the red sides, actually. That's pretty sick to me.
It's one of my favorite gifts to receive. Just give me notebooks.
Challenge accepted. I actually have a plan for that as well, dude, so that's a big one for me now. It's gonna happen. Honestly, a lot of weird stuff is going on in Antarctica as well. You will get capped on sight.
Antarctica.
What? What's happening in
Is that what you
Antarctica?
said?
I think the aliens are erupting. Oh, you're gonna get capped. A kept means kill, right? They shoot you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Will be satisfying when it happens because of how convincing the illusion of separation and economy of exploration is. Yeah, weirdly enough, and we were talking about this yesterday, we are coming to an age where we're realizing being good to people is also good for the economy. That we can take care of people, give them good quality of life, really, really make it worth their while. And then everything is better for it. The economy, the quality of life, the health numbers, it's good for pretty much everything. And I feel like that's the point we have to reach right now, is we have to make the good decision logical. We have to be like, look, being good, being kind to people is a good thing. It's that easy. It works. It makes everything better, including your financial incentives, including the life you'll lead, trying to exploit or use your finances at the end of the day as well. I'm doing all right. I have a jazz concert today, which will be fun. Have a good time, dude. Actually goes and jazzes. Saying you were wearing sassy pants has nothing to do with your clothing. Sassy pants means a spicy attitude.
Oh.
American slang. That's Christian. I don't think of it as an attitude at all at this point. I'm just like, yep, that's my homie. The dude. The dude himself. Oh my goodness, it's beautiful. But he knew it. Is there no way he would show us if he really thought it was ugly?
I mean, I'm not too embarrassed about it, even though I do think it's not the prettiest.
I feel the context of what's inside is the real art, more so than the actual aesthetics of it. Right? Like that is where the true fractal lives. Husband Tunes. Thank you so much for the love, dear friends. It's so nice to have all of you here. Just a human is an understatement. We are the most complex species we know of. Your brain is the highest piece of tech in existence right now.
On planet Earth.
Like it's really good tech. Crazy tech. That is creation though, Ravina, isn't it? We create being by allowing life force to beat our hearts and breathe our lungs for us. Sometimes that's enough. More than even. So are you guys in school together or married?
Married?
He doesn't want to have kids, and I'm like,
holy crap.
I'm trying. They're like, that's what they want me to say, right? Or we're just friends. Just friends, I'm what you would call a hippie loser.
Wow. That's hateful.
He is what you would call a programmer. So he works from home a lot, gets paid bank. Has me over, feeds me food, lets me breathe his air, drink his water, and then we have sick chats. We share understanding, we share I think hope in a lot of ways as well. Almost in a way where we show each other that there is hope for humanity by showing each other that there's hope for humanity. And I feel it's a cool experience. You friends do that for me as well, quite literally. Every single one of you choosing out of the infinite things you can say to me to say something loving. I'm like, oh, thank goodness. There's hope. There's hope, Christian. There's hope still.
It's all hopeless. Just give up now.
I will.
When in doubt, give up.
You're right. That's 100% what I wanted you to say. I see. I see you seeing me. You think you can bamboozle me? No. I am the one who bamboozles. Okay, chat, lurky mode, oftenly on, but I'll see you all at the Sangha. We're looking forward to it. I'm also actually getting time anxious because we have less than 40 minutes until the Sangha is gonna start. Faithfully, my dear sword. Thank you, Cassandra. So much love to you. I'm gonna light this joint again, pull a card, and get ready for the Sangha. To have some chats with you, friends. Will we see you, Jovan? Joy Vive is here with us. Is that another new scarf? It is. Joy Vive is paying attention. Look at it. This is actually one of Christian's mom's scarves, right?
Mm-hmm.
The being that brought Christian into existence was was wearing this at one point in existence, and now I get to, and it has different patterns on each side. And now it's going to be a part of the flowers, going from this day forward as well.
Bruh.
She will be coded into the infinity. Self another melts away more, dude. I've been listening to interviews with people about quantum jumping. Super fascinating. We're doing it. You're quantum jumping right now, right? There is infinite potential between a 1 and a 0. Just like oscillating between the possibilities. And then, twink, here you are, a slice out of that infinite potential. Here now. It's a trip. It's a trip, and that's what I mean with the whole relationship slash, like you can think of it as an infinity loop, right? The two intersecting infinite loops. And you are this side, and the infinity, the rest of the universe is this side. And then you can adjust how much you think about yourself, how much you think about the universe. You know, you get people that hate the world, want to see the world burn. They think nothing of the world and a lot of themselves. But if you think nothing of yourself and that the universe, that the world is everything, then it's also an imbalance. So finding that balance inside of ourselves, I feel one of the things that's of utmost importance. The thing that you can do not only for yourself but for everyone else. Have a great day, everyone. Love you, Joel. I must jet melt more. I need to shower and get to making a coffee. Then get ready for my second to last Sunday crossword stream on Arpan. And Sandra, thank you for joining me too.
Bye.
Right? I'm also trying to make the most of these days. We have a Fred. Thank you for doing the same. So much love to you. Have a good one. I'll see you again soon.
Bye.
Bye. Cheers. I'm going to head out. Cheers to you, Connor. Gone but not forgotten. Do you have cards, Melty? I do. I'm gonna pull one now, actually. I love the new addition to the flowers. Have a great day. Love you, friend. Thank you. I'm like happy that you appreciate it as well, Shannon. Like for me, it's almost like getting a canvas, paint, and new brushes every single time I get a new scarf. Think about that though. Coating it into flowers. You, dear Shannon, and all your friends reading this, you are so beautiful. We are but a reflection of the beauty that is you. The everything, and then you. You as the everything. You're seeing yourself, dear friend. Believe that. Believe that beauty you see in us is you, is in you. I am beautiful, yes, God. Gorgeous. Drop dead of gorgeous, dude.
So
People
hot.
just swoon so hard they do backflips when you walk past them. Is that possible?
What?
Swooning so hard you do a backflip. I guess if you did it intentionally.
That would be beautiful.
Swoon backflips. Bro, I need to learn how to do that. The ultimate
That would be a
compliment.
hell of a pickup line.
Bruh. Swoons, throws a backflip. I mean, I see it ending up in disaster more often than
Probably.
not. You fall yourself paralytic into the ground. And people are like, are you alright?
This guy is at a time.
Are you an angel? Saving my life right now. Boom, dude. Pickup line continues. You can still say. Tuning into the everything. And pulling a card. He's a Scorpio. You're an asparagus.
Who's an asparagus?
I'm an ambidextrous asparagus. Gav is an asparagus when we're talking about the astrology signs.
Oh.
I'm a Taurus. I'm a Gemini. I'm an asparagus. Sign me up for asparagus, please.
Be careful what you say, bro. Mercury's in lemonade today, so
Mercury.
whoever is an asparagus is clearly gotta watch his mouth.
Retreat. Retreat. What card do we pull? I don't know if it was. I mean, maybe. It's the last card in the deck. Receiving. DNA spirals coming on the sides of her. Beautiful flower in the midst.
Isn't that a person?
Auric field coming off. Oh yeah, it is. You look like an old man when you squint like that, though.
Hey. You watch your mouth.
This is a beautiful card to me. Receiving. I do not identify as a Scorpio. I hardly identify as a human or a man. You are a Turborg. I identify as an alien. Me too. The more I think about it, the more I'm convinced that I'm an alien. Seriously, like it's kind of concerning at this point. Thank you for the card, Melty. Thank you. Receiving. Let's see what it means. Let's see what it means. Receiving, readiness, and receptivity. Meet more. This is the final card in the Sacred Geometry cards for the Visionary Path. Embedded in the background of this image is stunning geometry that appears as a crop formation in 2003. The figure is charged with readiness and receptivity. Her outstretched arms and open hand chakras are expressions of trust, openness, and infinite potential. She is a lightning rod and receptor of universal information and infinite wisdom. DNA spirals appear as pillars or antennae in support of her readiness. This card celebrates the transformation that is taking place in our experience of reality and our willingness to shift from separation of duality to the consciousness, from the separation of duality consciousness to the certainty of our connectedness with all that is. It's perfectly in line with today's stream topic even. Sacred geometry is one way that information and energy are entering consciousness at this time. You are gaining a greater appreciation for and are participating in the evolution of consciousness. As you continue your visionary path, allow your awareness and understanding of sacred geometry to nurture this evolution. Let this card be a signpost of your willingness to become a beacon of hope and a guiding light for those still caught in the old paradigm of separation. Remain receptive to the messages you are receiving and give thanks for your conscious participation. Are you participating?
Am I participating?
I feel, having been able to be in your space again, you really notice just how much every single person is participating. Like, you can't help but, right? You are quite literally participating in the conscious evolution of our species.
I'm trying to avoid it as much as possible.
It's a trip, dude. And I was was legit talking about it at the start of the stream as well, dude. That is almost too much to really take into consideration. It's like you're voting. You're voting for the reality you believe is worthy of us. Is the thing that we can have every day by believing in it or not.
You have to breathe.
You have to believe.
Bro, I almost cast a fireball like yesterday.
Cast a
I was
fireball.
this close.
Oh, we were talking about magic, you know? That magic is probably real. Like, there's this part of us that believes, right? Like, for me, it is blinking, like teleportation. Like, if I want to be in the room right now, and I close my eyes and envision the room and I move forward a little bit. But I'm, at this point in my existence, I'm still stuck. And then the other thing is seeing something from a distance, not wanting to get up. You just lift it with your brain and zoom, fly it into your hand. That's the other power. And Christian wants to fireball. He wants to, I'm a fireball user.
It'll be so fucking useful.
And we were mentioning that if any of us figure out how to do
Do
magic,
you know how useful that shit is, bro? You just start a fire. You just
like instead of,
suddenly a bra is ready.
weirdly enough, I would probably not use the fireball function as much as I just do like, and then have a little infinite
Always
fire.
there.
It would use energy though. Weirdly enough, I'm probably one of those psychopaths that would like light myself on fire, you know, energetically, and then just like meditate in this on fire state, dude. Vroom,
The longer
vroom.
you can maintain it, the more powerful you become.
Yeah, and then you become ultra ripped. You get like
I don't know about ripped, or you still have to exercise for the ripped.
No, you don't. Oh, where does the energy come from?
I don't fucking know.
No.
Doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense.
That's the thing that we actually have to think about, bro. If we're going to be accessing energies, or like we can't break the laws of physics, right? We just have to find a way around physics. So energy still has to be conserved somehow.
Probably.
Yeah, we just have to figure out how to do it with our minds. You know, how to trade. Alchemy, dude. That's the whole alchemy thing, right? Maybe it's just about being willing to receive the energy we already have. It's not about finding it, it's just about letting it in again. So much love. What a perfect card. Perfect you friends. Everything is energy. Everything is energy. You don't ever get paid in money. You're always paid in energy.
Energie.
Energie. Oh.
Energia.
What you can give people is energy as well. Take it away if you wanted to. But weirdly enough, you get more energy the more energy you give. The more energy you get, the more energy you can give, the more energy you get. The more energy you can give, the more energy you get. The everything, and suddenly you. Right now, hearing these words. Thank you for joining me, friends. I'll see you again soon. Pretty much
Bye.
in 20 minutes. I have another song, huh?
Bye.
Find the link in the Discord if you're looking for it. Love you, friends. Goodbye, everyone. Cheers, cheers.